So welcome to the DVS, Netgenium, Suprema and Luminite Martyn's Law webinar. And we'll start off by saying thank you for everyone who's also joined who isn't one of the presenters. We know this takes a lot of time out from your day. We do really appreciate the support you're showing here. There is a lot of people on this call, 63 currently and climbing. So again, thank you for taking your valuable time out. We do hope that you get some insight and value from this call and it gives you some clarity. Right, let's move on then. So, start off by doing that. So the agenda, what is Martyn's Law? So then Hikvision product overview done by myself, handing over to Laura at Luminite and the lockdown solution. Then we're handing over to Steve at Netgenium for the audio solutions, and then Sean Grigg from Suprema for the access control solutions. So what is Martyn's Law? So Martyn's Law, formerly known as the Terrorism Protection of Premises Bill. Some people do still refer to it as that. Seems quite interchangeable, but they both mean exactly the same thing. This bill is the new UK legislation designed to improve public safety by making venue operators legally responsible for protecting people from the threat of terrorism. It sounds quite easy from the offset, right? So named after Martyn Hare, a victim of the 2017 Manchester Arena attack, along with many others who were injured and sadly lost their life, the law ensures that businesses and public venues take proportionate security steps to prevent, prepare for and respond to potential attacks. This affects thousands of public-facing venues and introduces a new legal duty that requires security products. Hence, we're all in the security world and why we're holding this webinar with our premium partners. So 2017 is a timeline. That was the Manchester Arena attack. 2020 to 2023 went into the government consultations. There was a bit of delay with the new incoming government. We were hoping to get this implemented, before it actually did, but it is now in statute, whichever one. Draft legalization and public engagement 2024 to 2025, and then Martyn Law receives royal assent this year. So the lawfully enacted date is April 2027, based on 24-month implementation. Again, we've done our best to consult with a lot of external bodies and research, and we believe this to be still accurate and correct. Like everything that we present, we're here to present an overview of the products and solutions. If you do need any further guidance or in-depth, like security, risk assessments, etc., then please do consult further with a security specialist. We're trying to give an overview here rather than in-depth specialist advice. Okay, so who does it apply to? Premises and events with a capacity of 200 people or more, including staff. Now, that's really important. Or more based on occupancy, historical data, seating and ticket sales. So there's been a bit of a grey area around that, but we hope that will clarify that. So more than 200 people capacity, and that's including potential sales tickets and staff. Some examples include, and now all the people that are on this call, there'll be a healthy mix of people that are in specific sectors or all of the sectors combined. So it's not limited to, and there are many other examples which we haven't listed. So please don't take this as a defined set of premises or examples or applications. So pubs, bars, restaurants and cafes, shopping centres and retail stores, music venues and nightclubs, theatres and cinemas, places of worship, sports stadiums, health and education facilities, conference centres and exhibition halls and sites. Now you can see we've highlighted the most sort of topical ones that we feel really hits home where this solution would be designed and deployed, but again, there are many others that fall behind that. So Martyn's Law tiers and requirements, and again, if I am speaking too fast, which is one of my traits, you will be able to sort of get this review later when Jake sends it out, and you can pause it and take your own detail from it and reanalyze it. So please don't worry about that. So there are two tiers in this: the standard tier, which is the capacity of 200 to 799, and then the enhanced tier, which is a capacity of 800 or more. Now, the core requirements are for the standard tier capacity: implement reasonable practical procedures for responding to a terrorist attack. Staff must be instructed appropriately to carry out these procedures, and procedures include evacuation, which is the process of getting people safely out of the premises; evacuation, the process of bringing people safely into or safer parts of the premises; lockdown, the process of securing the premises to prevent individuals entering or leaving the premises; and communication, the process of alerting people on the premises to that danger. Now, you can all agree those 4 headline categories there really cover the broad spectrum of what Martyn's Law is trying to achieve. It's very, very impactful. The enhanced tier does add some more core requirements. So on top of the standard duty requirements is to conduct a full risk assessment, produce a written security plan, appoint a senior individual responsible for the compliance of that plan, and adopt physical security measures, e.g. CCTV, bag searches and secure access, display public-facing security documentation and signage, and establish alert systems and coordinate response procedures. Both tiers will be required to notify the Security Industry Authority that they are in scope, the SIA. If you do want to read up more, again, you can take a QR code snapshot of that screen you can see there that gives an outline of the standard and the enhanced tier. Like you said, you don't have to do it now. You can do this later on when you get the slide deck. When you get the slide deck, please feel free to share this with individuals in your organization as well. If it really helps, we're happy for you to share that internally. If you want to share it externally, that's fine. But please remember, we are doing this as a webinar to you guys. You may want to tweak that to deliver to your own customer base. But again, those QR codes, if you do take a snapshot, we'll give you some more in detail. So thanks, Jake, for putting that on. That's really helpful. And support. Protect UK is a government-backed platform offering free advice, guidance and resources on protective security. Serves as one of the official channels to help venues and organisers prepare for Martyn's Law. Again, take a snapshot. That will take you to their homepage and you can engage with Protect UK if you want to engage on a one-to-one basis with them. Again, another really helpful piece of advice that Jake has put in from a marketing perspective. So we're going to start with the vendor analysis. So this is delivered by myself, Dave Davis, and this is the Hikvision overview. So as you know, Hikvision is one of our core product families. So without further ado, so again, Hikvision is a multinational company and one of the world's leading providers of video surveillance products and solutions. It has a global presence, operates in over 150 countries with regional offices around the world. The company size is over 40,000 people, including 20,000 in R&D. So it's a substantial amount of research and development goes into their product. Financials and annual revenue, I can't speak today, annual revenue exceeded 10 billion in recent years, making it the largest surveillance equipment manufacturer globally. And what they do is specialize in video surveillance equipment, including cameras, recorders, and video management software. They also develop AI-powered security and smart home solutions. They do have, obviously, access control, audio, lots of other body-worn camera technology that all fit into that ecosystem of product. But again, we're specifically aimed in the CCTV sector. That's their largest and most influential product set. So as you can see, a very brief overview of the whole product family. I'm not going to go through line by line. You can dissect this at your own leisure later after the webinar is finished. Video surveillance, video storage and management, access control, AI and deep learning technologies, which has been around for several years, but really adopted in the most recent 12 months. AI is a real core part of their product infrastructure now. Intercom systems, smart building solutions, alarm systems, traffic and vehicle solutions for the management of, education, healthcare and city solutions, and cloud and mobile solutions. Again, you can read that at your own leisure. It's quite comprehensive as a breakdown under each one of those core applications and product families of what they can provide to you and your customer base. Again, a lot of people associate Hikvision with just CCTV technology, but there is a very broad spectrum of plethora of product in their product portfolio. And again, if you do want to know more, please engage with your DVS sales rep and we'll happily diversify their product portfolio. So what we've done here is try to give some overview examples of where the product fits in an application. Again, it's not limited to, what we're not saying is take these as blueprints and exactly work your Martyn's Law principle to your customer base in this manner, but it tries to give a graphical illustration of where the product fits into some very broad spectrum applications. So again, places of worship. So one of the areas that we identified earlier on in the webinar was places of worship, often forgotten, but again, sadly can become a target of terrorism. So what we try to do is say, these applications, what kind of product out of our family will fit nicely into this? Now, places of worship vary from a very, very small to the very, very large premises. And, you know, some of the premises that we've been involved in over the years can fit thousands of people into it. And so, again, a very core focus for Martyn's Law is places of worship. So, again, access control. So we're restricting unauthorized entry, turnstiles and pedestrian access. So we're restricting physically, so not electronically from an access control product, but physical, using barrier technology. So we can really restrict people accessing a premises or getting out of the premises, so egress as well, egress in and out of the building. Panic buttons, so if something does happen, so whether they're fixed or portable, alerting, you know, security teams or the external authorities that something is happening and they need to attend. It's really critical that they're able to do that. And public address systems. They do public address systems in our portfolio, which allows you to deliver communicative messages to the people that are inside the building on what to do next and what the situation is. And again, CCTV. We do a lot of CCTV products. Now, all our CCTV, very varied product portfolio. And again, it will be down to you and your customer on which of those products will fit into that application. So places of worship is one of the applications we wanted to highlight, often forgotten, sadly. Educational institutions, so that's schools, colleges, universities, primary schools, daycare centres, they all fit into the educational institutions. And again, so part of our key national infrastructure, really. And again, what can we provide? So intercom systems, CCTV, AMPR for access in and out of car parks, as well as the barrier control, so preventing unauthorised entry. Public address systems, again, especially the larger and the more spread out over a geographic area that campus may be, you know, public address system becomes a crucial part of that communication tool. Again, panic alarm systems and intruder alarm, and again, CCTV. Good job on that graphic as well, Jake. You did a really good job on that. Took you hours, yeah. Just shows you what ChatGPT could do these days. You didn't use ChatGPT. Stadiums is, again, one of the core so sort of stadiums and event scenarios. So again, public address, panic alarm systems, AMPR for entry into car parks. We got intercom systems. We got body-worn camera technology. This will probably be more crucial in like a stadium and event situation. So we're recording live by the security staff. So you get a real snapshot, and they can be centrally monitored or independent. But body-worn camera technology forms a vital backbone to how we can protect people on these premises. CCTV depends again on the application, and we've got specialist CCTV systems that are applicable to like the light stadium, so really high resolution, ultra wide with AI technology, sort of tandem view PTZ technology. All of these different things will require different levels of what product goes into it. Again, you can work with our sales team to identify which fits that application best. But again, a nice overview of that product selection. And again, festivals, again, another one that we find is generally not spoken about or forgotten. But again, festivals can be one of the sort of key gathering areas for thousands and thousands and thousands of people. If you were like me and you live in Barry and you went to the recent Glastonbury festival, there were thousands and thousands of people there. So you have to remember there's a gathering that is often forgotten and not protected to the level that we would deem should be protected. And again, we do rapid deployment technologies, body-worn camera, we do access control to protect, you know, areas that the general public shouldn't or can't access. We've got public address systems, again, vital in open air festival scenarios, CCTV, and all the product that fits around it. So again, festivals is one of the key areas that people often forget about, but again, we should be highlighting that to our clients and users. And again, if you are using the Hikvision product family, Hike Central is one of the best tools you can do to bring all these disparate technologies into one user-friendly system. So Hike Central Professional, like most of you have probably experienced are on this call, is a great way to centralize everything. So if you've got a control room style environment, whether it's on-site, off-site, and you really want to simplify the user operation and enhance their usability and functionality, Hike Central brings all these Hikvision products into one user-friendly experience, one platform. And again, we're really excited. Speak to your sales rep and we can give you more details on what that looks like from a solution. Support, so again, from a DVS perspective, not necessarily Hikvision, but we want to highlight what DVS brings to the party. Products are supplied with a 3 or 5 year warranty, product dependent. DVS carry around 8 million worth of stock holding available for next day delivery anywhere in the UK. Full access to DVS pre-sales and technical support. That's really vital. Free HESA training and Hikvision's e-learning portal. So actually our HESA training goes live again from tomorrow. So if you are interested in any of our vendor training, please do look at our website or contact your sales rep. Access to vendor demo facilities around the UK, and DVS offer a pre-config service for a wide range of products. So if you want us to help you pre-configure and deliver these solutions, please speak to your DVS sales rep and we can simplify that operation for you. Now, I'm going to hand over to the fantastic Laura Granger, the Sales and Marketing Director from Luminite, and she is going to run us through the Luminite product and what that offers to you and your customer base. Now, Laura, I'm not sure if you can click next on your thing, so I might have to do this bit for you. So if you can take yourself off mute, Laura. Sorry.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you're there. So welcome to the webinar. If you need me to press next, just give me the prompt and I can press next. In fact, we'll start there for you and then tell me when you want to click next. I did just try and make you a presenter, but I'm not sure it worked.
Yeah, I don't have a next button, so I think you'll have to be my glamorous assistant on this one.
I'll be the glamorous assistant for you. That's not a problem. Okay, over to you, and let me know when you want me to carry on.
Thank you very much. So yes, thank you everybody. So we offer as Dave explained, Martyn's Law is all about making on any site with 200 capacity, the wording is clear and unambiguous alerts, so that anybody knows straight away this is a lockdown solution rather than a fire solution. So we kind of we concentrate a lot on the education sector. So if you want to go to the next slide, please, Dave. So we concentrate initially on the education sector. What we offer is a wireless solution. Installers like it because it's wireless, and the schools like it because it's kind of less disruption to the school day than when we are putting systems in. So I'm kind of concentrating more on the education sector, although we're doing a lot of marketing around leisure centres, festivals, as Dave said, is one of the areas that gets forgotten about. But this is particularly aimed at schools, of which there are 32,000 in this country. So we've only kind of really touched the tip of the iceberg here. So Alertex is essentially a wireless solution. Schools have always had to have a lockdown policy. And about 18 months ago, Ofsted were obviously realising that a lot of schools were using their fire alarm panels, and that was causing confusion. So they were ahead of the game, really, in this clear and unambiguous space. So what Alertex offers is flashing blue lights with sirens. Now there are 32 siren sounds that you can choose from. If you want to go on to the next slide, please, that shows the whole range. So you've the first three there are our sounder beacons. So 32 sounds you can choose from, flashing blue lights. Very, very distinctive to fire alarms and in line with Martyn's Law, which is that clear and unambiguous alert. We also offer in the bottom right-hand corner annunciators as well. So you can mix and match our annunciators with sounder beacons if you need to. For example, we've just done a school in Wales where they wanted the announcements in Welsh. So a school or any venue can record their own message if they need to. So in that situation, we had messages recorded in Welsh. So you would activate through the call point, or you activate the system through the key fob. Now you don't have to have one of these units in every single classroom. As I say, I'm concentrating on schools for this part of the presentation. So you would have them at either end of the corridor. You would have them in busy areas like the dining hall, and you can activate through the fob or through a call point. Most schools have the sounder beacons only dotted around the school with the occasional call point, because obviously they're open to misuse by pupils. And we also have a pager system as well, because we did some work with Royal School for the Deaf. So we have a pager system that is integrated with our lockdown system as well. If you want to go to the next one, please. So yeah, rapidly deployable. You can have 64 units going back to one master. So the one master that has a physical override, and that would normally sit in the reception area of a school because that's the pinch point. And you can also, we also have an IP bridge. So you can activate from an IP bridge. I'll talk about the bridge in a sec. Or you could activate from a call point. The master is your physical override. So you can deactivate from the bridge or you deactivate from a physical unit. We use SAFT batteries, so they've got a 2-year battery life. So we say an automatic changeover of batteries every 2 years. If you are using the bridge, then that gives you low battery status. Next one, please. So this is essentially how it works. I mean, if you've got clear line of sight, because we also offer these as fire alerts, you are going to get that kilometre line of sight. But obviously, once you take them inside a school where you've got fire doors, you know, thick walls, bodies and whatever, that transmission range comes down. But you're going to get that repeater hop. They all act as their own repeater. You're going to get 200 to 300 metres between units. And if you to carry out a site survey on a school, we loan you equipment, and DVS can also loan equipment for that. Next one, please. So the annunciator, yes, you can record your own messages, or there are standard messages there. These are also wireless. So you've got your flashing strobe lights, and you can hardwire a call point next to this for activation, or you can have a call point within 500 meters. That's the transmission range. Or you can activate from a fob, a kind of a panic fob. Next one, please, Dave. So the bridge is rarely where is the brains of a system. If we're looking at a primary school that's taking sounder beacons only, and they're only after half a dozen units, for example, this would be overkill. But if a customer is going down the annunciator route, or if it's a large school, they might want to know which unit has been activated. They can reset the whole system from one central point. They can also see any missed calls, because these are all heartbeating to each other. So, for example, an external unit gets hit by a football outside, and that's one of your linked, you know, that's one of your repeaters. This will alert you straight away that there's a problem. You know, maybe the wires have become dislodged or whatever. You can also send text and email alerts to key personnel as well via the bridge. Next one, please. So it just connects over Ethernet. There are a couple of hoops that we need the schools to jump through. It can't be affected by their firewall. So we have a kind of a pre-installation checklist for the school to complete when we're putting in an IP bridge. But it's pretty fuss-free. So you pay for the bridge, and all of the functionality and the software is free of charge.
Okay.
Next one, please. So this is how it would work in a school situation. So you would have the master, as I say, at the front of the school. Normally, that's where the pinch point is, and you just dot around the school as you need them. With these systems, we always, this mobile panic alert there in the centre of the screen, it's always good to have at least a couple of fobs. We supply them on lanyards, and, you know, for the head or deputy head or head of estates, because they can activate any unit as long as they're within 100 meters of any device, they can activate. So it's a simple, you trigger, they all go off until they're deactivated. So you've got that site-wide alert no matter what. Next one, please.
2 seconds, Laura. There we go.
Okay. So, yep. So Martyn's law and how it will affect schools. Schools will all be part of the standard tier, even if they have over 800 capacity. That is what the government have deemed. So they all fall under the standard tier. That does not include places like, and this is where we need some clarity, and there is clarity coming round about October time, because there are certain holes in our understanding, in everybody's understanding of Martyn's law, sure. And particularly with the SIA. So there's something called Section 27 clarity coming out in October. I think Dave, you were talking about that. Yeah. So yeah, so there are a large university estate, for example, that has a swimming pool that the public have access to, or some schools have public access to their halls or whatever. They probably won't be classed as standard. But at the moment, our understanding is all schools will be classed as standard tier. And there's been a lot of kind of preparation of this with the Home Office. The Home Office last year supplied all schools with an evaluation checklist. And remember, this is for them to look at their risks from terrorism. Martyn's Law is specifically about the risks to a site from terrorism. So, the government have been doing some preparatory work on this. Schools should be aware of it. But as I say, Alertex gives that unambiguous, clear and unambiguous are the two words that we use when we're talking about Alertex. Next one, please. Oh, so I think you've missed a couple on Martyn's Law. There was a couple of other things I was going to say on Martyn. Oh, okay.
Apologies,
Jake's
Jake's
cut me short there.
Jake's cut you off. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to say is that councils can be your friend here. A lot of councils are now very aware of Martyn's Law. So what we're finding that we're doing, more and more presentations to councils direct. Yeah. And they're getting the news out there to the schools and to other places. Just a quick, we're working on vape detectors, which we will have. I know that's going off. We'll skip past that one. Just wanted to let you know while I had attention. Just the next one, please, Dave. Yeah.
There's nothing like an off
exactly
sales pitch, Laura. That's fine.
Exactly. Why not?
Exactly that.
So we offer a free service here at Luminite, where we will. So the first stage for a school, if you're talking to schools, and it's schools and leisure centres, we get a lot of plans from leisure centres as well. Is roughly how many units will they need? So we will look at school plans on your behalf, dot out an approximate estimate of where we think they should go. DVS can then supply you with the pricing on that, of which we have special offer on at the moment through August and September on lockdown units. And then we can loan you equipment for you to carry out a site survey. So, and the site survey is very, very simple. It's basically walking the site normally with the caretaker or the head of estates, and just checking that when you activate one unit, it can be heard in all parts of the site. Because most sites, with the best will in the world, we can look at plans and say, oh yeah, there, and there. But there will always be parts of a school where there might be some dead areas. So, there are certain areas where, they might not be able to hear, and you might need to put in another repeater or whatever. That's the whole point of a site survey. But to get the ball rolling, we will look at those plans free of charge.
Okay, that's really good to know. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah. So pages, as I say, were done really for the audibly impaired. We were working with the Royal School for the Deaf, and that just needs its own transmitter. And then the pages, if a system is activated, pages will go off as well automatically.
Okay.
Next one, please. So we fit all of the PCBs within Alertex have a relay fitted to them, so that they can work with people like, with the companies like Suprema, so they can work with the access control. It's an open and closed relay output, so you can basically connect anything to it. It's a simple open and close. And you can also power any unit from 12 volts DC. So the beauty of Alertex is that it's wireless and quickly deployable, but you do have that, you can power them as well if needed.
Okay. Good to know.
So there's lots of case studies on our Alertex website, individual schools, academy trusts. From a school point of view, if you get in with an academy, that's it's gold dust, really. You're not just talking to one school, you could be talking to 10 schools, 15 schools. So we do a lot of work with academy trusts. We We exhibit at places like BET, which is the biggest education show in the whole of the calendar. So we regularly show there, and we do a lot of direct marketing to schools for this brand awareness as well. Next
And
one.
as the image shows there, Laura, something to point out, which could be you know, quite handy for people listening, is the units are indoor and outdoor compatible. They're not just indoor. So as you can see in the image, you are able to fit these outdoors, which then gives a much more flexible, installation and application of the product, right?
And you'll often need that if it's a large estate, say a university estate, and they've got several buildings, you'll need those external units to continue that hop, to continue that repeater.
Okay, good to know.
So yeah, just a kind of, I believe we're the only people offering a wireless solution. Schools like it, because it's less disruption. There are also a lot of old schools out there that might have hidden problems around asbestos. So the less kind of, work that is, the less civil works that happen, the better, really. You can mix and match the annunciators. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that you can adjust the decibel levels as well. So the decibel levels go up to 117. So that's why you rarely only need them either end of a corridor, for example. Sure. But you can adjust that decibel level.
I think one of the key points that we found over the years of selling your product is the fact that because of the inherent problem with asbestos, especially in older buildings, not necessarily linked to schools, but that is a big part of your deployment. You can't be disruptive to the asbestos. So what we found with the installations we have done is the fact that you can use it wirelessly without disturbing the fabric of the building is such a benefit to installers and the end user.
Yeah. I think that's probably the last slide.
One last slide, I think it is.
Yeah, one last. So we work with we like to work with approved installers. To become an approved installer, you need to have gone through some training with us, which really covers the IP bridge mostly, and to have installed one system. But we offer a lot of marketing support to our approved installers. We have access to a very large database, not only for schools, for leisure centres as well, for example. We're always looking to take more approved installers. So if you're interested, please contact me after this.
Or your DVS sales rep.
Or your DVS sales rep.
Whichever is easiest for you.
And talk to your DVS sales rep, because we do have a special offer on lockdown equipment throughout the months of August and September.
So again, if you want to make benefit of that or join the scheme, contact Laura or your DVS sales rep and we'll give you more details as and when required.
Okay, that's me finished. Thank you.
That is, and thank you, Laura, for taking the time to give a very comprehensive overview, and I hope that people listening took a lot from that. I know I learned a few things from your presentation, so thank you very much for joining us today. I'm going to hand over to Steve O'Connell now from Netgenium to give us his solution overview.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks very much, Laura. That was very interesting. So I'm going to take you through the Netgenium solution, as Dave's already touched on. My name's Steve O'Connell. I'm the commercial manager here at Netgenium. I'm joined today on the call by Nick Plum, who's our sales and marketing manager, who some of you may or may not know. So as we go through the slides, Dave, some of mine do have bullet points, so if you just want to bring them up as I'm talking and waffling as I go, so please saves me talking too much. So if we can move on, then that'll be great. So yeah, a little bit about Netgenium. We are a UK-based manufacturer of IP products, Internet Protocol. We use Power over Ethernet for nearly all of our devices. I will touch on one that we don't use PoE for, and we've been formed since 2003. We're an award-winning company of IP-based products, and we actually were the first PoE access control and PoE speaker developer and manufacturer back in the day. That's been, if you like, replicated a lot by other companies now, and the way our founder and managing director would tell you, Paul, we've crossed that chasm. So back in 2003, there was a lot of early adapters to the technologies that we brought out, and it was taken on by a lot of sites, universities, some big colleges, and also some manufacturing facilities. Because what we do is not just lockdown solutions. We invent and manufacture IP-based PoE products and the software that goes with it. But we have crossed that chasm. And so it's nice to see that the products are now being widely adopted as we also grow the product portfolio. Mentioned there, they are a pure PoE product. There's a lot of devices out there that will use PoE splitters inside of them. Our devices have always been a true PoE solution, and it'll be managed on your Ethernet network, which is great for. There's no need for new protocols. One of the things you can do is we provide the components. You guys provide the solutions, and one of them solutions is lockdown solution, and we'll go through some of the ideas and scenarios that you could potentially do for your clients as we go through. All of the products integrate seamlessly with your existing IT infrastructure, as I said there, and as I already said, use existing protocols, so no investment in or need for additional equipment or software or infrastructure over and above what comes with the Netgenium solution. I like to use the word unified. We are a unified solution because what we provide is all of them products and the software that enables you to go away and build something that is all encompassing, if you like, based on the individual needs and requirements of your clients. Yeah. So next slide, I think, Dave, please. Yeah, sorry, yeah, controlled by the software. So how we as Netgenium and DVS can help you. So our products and solutions do provide a raft of options for you to access. When you go in and see your client, you'll be going in to look at what their problems are rather, what's keeping them up on the night, if you like. So what we enable you to do is we give you the products and the components, if you like, to sit down and come up with individual requirements for that client with the components we provide. And this slide seems to have gone a little bit skew with there, but what you can see on the bottom there is some of the end users we already work with. Some names you'll obviously know, like the Range and Land Rover and the Co-op, but there's a lot of schools on there as well. We've got quite a few schools now that we've been installed, and not just our system, but now the lockdown solution.
Yeah, sorry about that, Steve. The slide did look really good this morning, and then the one thing Mark didn't have messed up on is the slide.
Don't worry about it.
So apologies about that, but I think that people do get the premise of that, so thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So if you go on the next one,
yep.
We'll have a look at some of the products.
Yep.
So this gives you an idea of all the products that we do have, not all of them, but the majority of the products that we have, because we've got various types of speakers, internal and external. We have horn speakers, ceiling speakers. One of the speakers we do get a lot of interest from, for example, is an analog speaker that we have, which we are IP-based company, but we have a PoE analog speaker that will take the power from your PoE switch, but then you just use your standard RCA cable and connect into your camera. So your camera is connected to the PoE. Your analog speaker is connected to the PoE. It's powered by a PoE, so you don't need that 240 volt power. We do LED displays, which can be used in lockdown, but we get a lot of interest, and we're getting a lot more interest as of late for AMPR, for example, so it can display the information on there for the AMPR. We have an IP rated unit, and they come in various sizes as well. So if you have a requirement for internal, external LED displays, they're available. So the IP PoE access control is, again, a pure PoE device. It can power up to 2 doors. It can power a double Mac lock, but we also have a 12 volt wireless version. Now, this is the one product that isn't PoE. Where that comes in very handy is for things like retrofitting old installs where you can't get data to, and also things like turnstiles and gates. It's great for that. So that just touches on some of the products, which we will go over some of them in some of the next slides.
I think what's interesting there, Steve, is most people associate your product with, or you Netgenium, as IP audio products only, but this gives a nice overview of the rest of the range. So if anyone is interested, they get to see a full range here rather than just associating you with the IP speaker only, which is a fantastic product nonetheless, but there's a whole range of product that sits behind the Netgenium brand.
It is, and I'll quickly touch on that if I may, Dave, because the products, as I say, the first product that we brought out was the lock controller, and that was in 2003. And I was actually an integrator at the time, and we took the product on, and how we were able to take these components, because there was the intercom as well, which we do, and there's how we were able to take them components as an integrator and then go away and design solutions, because that's very much what we do. We give you the components to build solutions. It is very powerful. And you are right, most people know us for the speakers, because that's what's become very much the thing that's at the forefront of people's minds at the moment, with Martyn's Law and internet radio and things like that. But some of the other devices we do, especially the access control and the LED displays you can see on here, and it is very, very powerful. And the scenarios that you can come up with in every sector, not just the education sector, is really powerful. But I'll move on to this one as well. So this is just starting to give you an overview of how we build a solution for a lockdown solution. As I said, majority of the products that we offer are directly connected to the network and they're PoE. But one of the things that's quite powerful with what we offer in all our devices that are the IP devices is the 4-flex IO, the relays, if you like, that we have within each device. And that makes it very, very flexible. We will come on to some of the software features further down, but what I want to talk about was some of the physical elements of it. So we have all of them things like the TFT touchscreen, which you can activate the alarm with. You can do a classroom change, something like that, or a lock controller, which is obviously controlling access around the building. But if we go on the next slide, what we'll see is how each of those devices have those flex IOs and relays. Every single one of them, apart from the IP resettable break glass, which you can see on the end of the screen there, has 4 inputs and 4 outputs. The break glass only has 4 inputs. What that allows you to do is put physical devices to it that you can use to, in this example, activate lockdown or do other things. So for example, what we have here is a break glass connected to the flex IO, the relay, a push button, but we could do that with a card reader, a panic button. That panic button could actually be an additional feature to the lockdown solution. We'll come on to something further on about the uses, but one of the things you could do is put panic buttons in a classroom, not for a lockdown, but when a teacher just needs some assistance. You don't want to lock down the whole school when a teacher wants to call assistance because children are kicking off in the classroom. So you could put in a panic button. But again, this is where you start talking about the solution that's being offered, what's keeping them awake at night and what you can do for them. Something else that's on the end there is sensors. CO2 is becoming a big thing in classrooms now. There's a directive in 2023 where the government wants all classrooms to be monitored for CO2 and also put the air handling units in. What you could do with our system is put third-party sensors. We don't provide the sensors, and you could sense what's going on, be it temperature, be it the CO2, be it vaping, whatever it is. And then what's quite powerful, if we go on the next slide, is you can then use them relays to invoke with the outputs an action. And that might be, it's getting too warm, it's getting too cold, so you turn the air conditioner up or down or the heating. As part of the lockdown solution, we can power 12-volt strobe lights. Again, what will happen is that will be based on the amount of power that's available, but each port could provide effectively up to 12 volts. We can access third-party access control. It's not, we don't expect people to, if they want access control as part of the lockdown system, to rip out an existing or preferred system, like Suprema, for example. If that's got that relay, we can then lock down or release doors on the event of a lockdown. And again, with a camera like a Hikvision camera, if that's got the input, it can be programmed via their software to pan, tilt, and zoom onto. It might be the location of a break glass, or it might be a door, or whatever it is you want. It's all very flexible, and it's down to what you want to do for your user and what it is that they want to do and how all them different components can come together. This slide shows you how, again, you don't want to necessarily rip out an existing system if they've got an access control, but if they have a 100-volt line, for example, and we've got a large one of our partners is talking to a large multi-academy trust that recently just installed brand new 100-volt line PA system. Well, we don't expect them to rip that out. We've got something called the analog gateway, and what we can do is we can take that 100-volt line and provide a lot of the features that you get from the Netgenium system alongside that with the use of that analog gateway. And then it also has the ability to use the 4 flex IOs or relays that come with the gateway. Where you don't have them, the facility to do that, because obviously 100-volt line speakers aren't going to come with the relays. We've got a PoE resettable break glass, which ironically comes with 4 inputs, so you can add more break glasses to that break glass as part of the solution. So again, it's very flexible. It's about what your client's needs are, what they've got, and what you can do with the components that we have to offer the solution. There's various methods to activate a lockdown. We've already talked about some of the physical methods there, things like the break glass, the push buttons, or card readers. But we have components that we can use aside from that, like the TFT touchscreen, which we can use, or the IP PoE. Again, where that comes in handy is if you've got that 100-volt line system, and then that provides you more I/O ports. But we can also use software. We've got our own software, which we'll come on to further into the presentation. So you can use network computers to activate lockdown. You can use mobile devices with the Android app or with the web interface. Or you can even use SIP phones, because our devices are inherently SIP devices. Big SIP phones, to be honest. And if you've got a SIP system on site with some assistance or existing systems that we integrate with, then that can be used to initiate lockdown as well through, say, for example, a specific 6-digit number that only the staff know, or even a hot button if you've got security behind that as well. So it's very flexible how we activate it. Again, flexible how we notify. We can use speakers, which is the main thing that we're talking about today, but there's other things. You know, we can do notification through SIP phones. We have the external sounds and lights, our own LED screens, which you can put specific messages on. And again, one of the things that's really powerful about the Netgenium system is each speaker. For example, you could put one speaker across 4 classrooms because you've got 4 break glasses or 4 push buttons, if that's how you feel that the solution should look. But then to notify in individual classrooms, we can actually notify onto network computers, onto network displays like interactive whiteboards, songs that sit on the network, and again, mobile devices. So there's lots of different ways that using the inherent Ethernet network that we effectively use to be able to notify your clients. So the lockdown update methods, this is something that's really interesting, because this came about when we were talking to a very large university quite a while back, and they were saying, how do we know where the risk is? How do we know where the danger is? You activate lockdown, our staff and our students could be running into the danger. What we developed within the software, and we could do this via a PC screen and a network screen or via a speaker, is we can send notifications on what's happening where, so it can tell us if it's which building it is, which classroom it is, whichever way you want to configure it based on the device that's activated lockdown. And then as further lockdown activations happen, it will then update that again. So it might be, for example, 1:15, lockdown initiated in key stage 1, classroom 4, but then it might say 1:25, lockdown initiated in building 3, sports hall. So it still tells your user where the actual risk is and avoids your users run into where the dangers are, or where the actual terrorist, if you like, is within the building. Okay. All clear methods, we can do this during or after a lockdown, and again, we can activate it. We can announce that over the speakers or through network computers or any of the network devices that are on the network. So yeah, including the LED screens.
Okay.
IO devices, and some of them obviously DVS provides. That includes Hikvision, I've touched on. We can pan tilt and zoom in the cameras based on a activation. Optex sensors, we can use that, and so Suprema access control, and obviously the TP-Link switches can provide the PoE and the PoE plus that we need for the devices.
Perfect.
So I'll go over the software solution. What we do is we have our own inbuilt software. We do use, these are the software solutions we work with, but we can effectively configure the system how you want it. And if you go through some of the next slides, it'll show you some of the map features that we do as well. So you can look at global views, building views, classroom views, and we can drill down further into that. So we can look at groups of speakers, we can look at whole like sort of areas of speakers, but we can also activate alarms.
Yeah.
Can go on to the next one now, David. I'm conscious I've only got about 5 minutes left, and we've got a 2-minute video again.
You have, Steve. That's correct.
yeah. So it's not just a lockdown solution. So we've touched on a lot of these, but I'll let you review that. But we can do obviously text to speech. We can do peer announcements, file alarm integration. If you want to go through the next slide, and there's just some of the reasons why it's a good solution for installers and some of the benefits. Before we go on to the video, I will apologise for it. It does, Nick, who will be cringing on the call, I know he will. It has an AI voice at the moment. It hasn't been released yet, but I thought it was very handy to show you a brief overview, 2-minute overview on how the system works, and review some of the things I've also talked about. But before we go on to that, and I'll close before the video, we have a very similar process to what Laura mentioned there about the partner program. So if you're interested in joining the program, reach out. There is discounts available based on project registration, things like that. So it's training available, marketing resources available. We do sort of have a program there. If you are interested, please reach out to DBS or to was it Netgenium. So I'll pass you. I'll let you move on to the video now. Hopefully, we'll.
I'll play the video. Hopefully, the audio comes through. If it doesn't come through, because you know what Teams is like. God bless Microsoft. Then when you do get the slide deck, the audio will be on there. But we'll see how we get on. Oh, it does work.
Yeah. It does not that the audio is coming through, David.
It's working this end, but it probably isn't coming over. But like you said, I'll when you get the actual slide deck, the audio should be present then. It just doesn't matter. Let's just share it again. Include some there. Let's see if that works.
TFT touchscreens, card readers. If your premises face a physical threat, whether an outside one or from within your own organization, how fast can you respond? Netgenium's lockdown solution delivers a unified, rapid response system using your existing IT network. It's ideal for education and public settings, including schools, colleges, universities, council offices, museums, and stadiums, anywhere falling under the UK's Terrorism Protection of Premises Act 2025, also known as Martyn's Law. Lockdowns can be instantly activated via buttons, break glass units, Netgenium TFT touchscreens, card readers, sensors, IP phones, mobile devices, or computers. And because it's network-based with configurable rules, the system is highly flexible and simple to use. Netgenium ensures real-time communication through audio and visual alerts across your facility. Alerts can be broadcast via speakers, including external, displayed on network screens and beacon lights, Netgenium LED screens, or sent to mobile devices, ensuring everyone receives critical information instantly. As alarm points are triggered, the system dynamically updates with locations and timestamps, providing real-time visibility of where the threat is and guiding safe evacuation routes. Flexible zoning allows you to target announcements, lock down specific areas using access control, or direct alerts by zone to support safe, controlled evacuations. Alarms can be managed locally, forwarded to central HQs or trust offices, or sent to external alarm receiving centers and agencies for rapid coordinated response. It also integrates with third-party systems like access control for door lockdowns and IP camera systems for enhanced situational awareness. Installation is simple. Just a single data cable delivers power via PO, and the system is already trusted by hundreds of organizations, with some already having used it for real lockdown situations. The system is fully customizable. You can define rules, automate responses, and link events to trigger further actions, with one event having the ability to evoke another, meaning you can have a truly proactive system unique to your needs. Helping meet the requirements of Martyn's Law, Netgenium provides a robust framework for proactive emergency planning. Scalable to any facility, it also supports day-to-day functions like announcements, text-to-speech, class changes, fire alarm integration, music, and internet radio. Because protecting people should be simple, reliable, effective, and cost-efficient.
Well, that was a fantastic video. Thanks for sharing that, Steve.
It's a shame about the voice.
It's a shame.
It is getting
It wasn't as bad.
with a
It
real-
wasn't as
with a
bad as
real
you
person.
made out. It was fine. It was fine. So I appreciate you joining the call and really, really comprehensive overview of your product and what it can do and deliver to everybody on this call. We're now going to hand over to the infamous Sean Grigg for the Suprema overview. So welcome, Sean, to the chat, and over to you to run us through your product and what it can offer.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Laura. Just a quick introduction from myself, and obviously Dave's done it already. I am Sean. I'm the new business and specification manager at Suprema Systems UK. I'd just like to do a quick shout out to Jake and Dave and just say thank you very much for putting this on. From our point of view, it's really important going forward, looking at Martyn's Law and how we can, look at how Suprema and our biometrics and access control solutions can help organizations not only comply, but actually raise the standard of security and safety. This isn't about moving from basic access control checks. This is about the path to true identity and true authentication. So next slide, please, Dave. Next slide, please, Dave. Brilliant. So just before we go any further, I'm just going to give you a little introduction into Suprema, who we are, what we are as a business, and going forward. So to anybody that's new to the call or hasn't heard of Suprema before, we're a global leader in access control, time and attendance, and biometric solutions. Our HQ is in South Korea, in Seoul, and for over 2 decades, we've pioneered innovations by combining world-class technologies and biometric algorithms found in all Samsung mobile devices. We've engineered that with rock-solid engineering and local tech support in the UK. So whether you're calling from us, calling from somewhere in Scotland or Cardiff or Wales or anywhere in the UK, you will have UK tech support. As long as you can understand the Birmingham accent, you're completely fine with that. So not only that, we've got our demo room, as you can see behind me, based in Birmingham. Also at your local DVS area or in DVS in Cardiff, you will have the ability to go in and see Suprema products on show as well. And not only that, the DVS tech support is also just about on par with ours in the UK, thanks to Dave and his team. So we have the ability to support you guys, and also DVS do as well. One key thing to note, Suprema holds stock in the UK, as do DVS. So DVS have stock and offer next day delivery on our products. And we're the global leader in access control and biometrics. So before we jump onto the next slide, I just want to again say thank you to Dave and the team, but also there's been a lot of information this morning. So I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm not going to repeat anything that Laura and Steve and Dave have said. So on the next slide, Dave, we can talk about it. It'll be a quick fire slide deck on this one, slide presentation, so to speak. So the guys, well, Steve and Laura, Dave, you've been fantastic. You guys have gone over the intricacies of Martyn's Law fantastically. So again, I'm not going to repeat myself on this. However, Martyn's Law is set to apply to a huge range of public venues, from stadiums to schools. Everything that Laura, Dave, and Steve have gone over, I don't really need to repeat myself too much on this point. However, with that being said, to everybody that's still here on this webinar, you guys have a massive opportunity with over 280,000 venues needing to look at upgrading their security practices, ranging from, next slide, please, Dave. Sorry, I know I just forgot all about it there. I hit the button myself and forgot. So again, 280,000 venues across the UK will be looking to upgrade their security practices and that ranges from football stadiums, retail outlets, hospitality, education, and event spaces. So what does that offer? That offers everybody on this call, Suprema, Netgenium, and Luminite, everybody here have the ability to go back to their existing customer base and talk to them and revisit them and upgrade and help them enhance their security. So whether they've got if they've got existing solutions where they have, Paxton or anything out there, you have the ability to go and talk to those customers and say, how do we help you? How do you want to comply with Martyn's Law? Do you want biometrics? Do you want mobile credentials? What is it that you're actually looking for? And help them educate them in what they're looking for. Because with the greatest respect in the world to these guys that you guys are going into, the end users will think that they know what they want. They don't. I'm working extensively with Fegan Murray, who's heading up Martyn's Law, and she's gone from end users at football stadiums that think that 125 kilohertz cards are the way forward. We all know they're not. We all know that they're easily cloned, dropped on the floor, etc. The path to true access control and biometrics and true authentication is by using biometric access control.
Yeah, agreed.
So just on that, we've got a little slide up at the moment to talk about the path to true identity, and something that we at Suprema believe, we're a global leader in that. In our eyes, we've been doing it for 20 plus years. We have our own R&D team that have designed the algorithms from both facial authentication and fingerprint authentication as well. You'll notice the terminology that I use is different to facial recognition, because we don't want to be tied in with the same element of CCTV. Facial recognition in CCTV, it's had a big stigma in the press over the last couple of months. We're a facial authentication access control specialist. And by that, we've got the ability to stop people card sharing, buddy punching, and impersonization. Is that the word? Is that how you say it? I think so. So, you don't have, and I'll use Steve here because he's the first person I looked at. I give Steve my cards to go and do a shift at Leicester City Football Club, for example, because I can't be bothered to turn up. That's not how it works with biometrics. That can't happen. So we're all about preventing the wrong individual attending site and not having the right level of training. So whether that's a kick it out campaign or pyro safety, any of those sorts of steward level management badges, whether they're looking at rugby clubs, football stadia, events, you name it, we have the ability to work alongside many steward management platforms. So I don't actually have a slide on BioStar 2, which is Suprema's access control and biometric access control software, but what I have got here is a reason why. So rather than you guys look at lots and lots of software and Steve and Laura had some fantastic images, they all mean the same thing. And Dave, obviously yourself, they're all the same. Yeah. They all have the same purpose. They're all about protect and care. It's a duty of protect that we have as security manufacturers, as security integrators, and your customers. The end user has every right and requirement to make sure that they are protecting that facility. So whether you need to do full audit logs, full audit trails of where Dave or Laura or Steve has been, or you need to see who sounded the alarm, Steve, in key stage 2 area. You've got, with the integrations into Netgenium, you've got that ability to go, right, Sean set the alarm off in key stage 2 area B, for example. Steve, sorry if I'm butchering your slide deck there at all. But we've got that ability. The other point around it is steward management platforms. They're a big thing at the moment. So we integrate with a number of them where pre-event screening is a necessity. So where they have their SIA badges, they have their, right to work in the UK, they have all of their credentials where they are allowed to work at that location. So whether it be fast access that's required, we've got that with secure fast check-ins with biometric terminals such as the BioEntry W2, the BioStation 3. Whether you're looking at visitor management, whether you're looking at using biometrics to check in contractors, again, visitors, where Dave's turning up to do a health and safety check, for example, you have the ability to be in complete control of your facility. And that is something that we as security experts, I'd like to think everybody here is a security expert, they need to know what they're putting in and how it manages a lockdown function. As Steve mentioned on his previous slides, it's all about the ability to partially do it, lock down a specific door. All of this is able and capable within BioStar 2 and the real-time monitoring tab that we have. So that allows you for your instant lockdowns, instant incident management reports. So this will be fired over to, you know, if there's an incident and you need to have it sent to the security team, it's done that way. So they know where the incidents happen, what the incident is, that's all available and capable. And just one last thing on this slide, you've got staff accreditations. And I mentioned it earlier when we were talking around pre-event screening. This is one of the most fundamental requirements that stadiums, event venues, such as concerts, are going to require, because you need to know that Dave has his SIA badge.
For sure.
Steve's been, you know, trained on pyrotechnics, for example. You need to have that. So in the event of an issue, you know full well that you've got Steve who's capable, or Dave or Laura who is capable. Next slide, please, Dave.
Yep.
So I just want to talk around two products here. So we've got the BioEntry W2 to begin with. As I mentioned earlier, Suprema, we're a biometric and access control provider. What I'm talking about here is the path to true identity and moving away from RFID cards, PIN numbers, etc., all of which can be, you know, cloned, etched into a wall saying that my code is 1471. I've just given you my bank details. Sorry, everybody, there's not a lot in there. But, you know, looking at the path to true identity all works around knowing that it is who is on site. And you might think that I'm repeating myself. I am, because I work quite closely with the Football Safety Officers Association. And the biggest problem that they have is knowing who is on site, because they have 400, 500, 600 stewards. 9 times out of 10, it's all on a piece of paper. It's in an Excel spreadsheet that Steve or Laura has to sit down on a Monday morning and figure out who was actually on site, which agency gets paid, which agency doesn't get paid. With biometrics and true identity, you have the ability to have a full audit trail of that straight away.
It's a really good point to raise there, Sean.
So, and just on that, Dave, historically, biometrics and fingerprint have always been a bottleneck at certain locations, whether that's a turnstile, a check-in point. With the BioEntry W2, you don't just have the best in performance, you have the best in technology. Like I mentioned earlier, all Samsung mobile devices use our underscreen fingerprint algorithm. The devices are IK09, IP67, so that they can go outside. The other beauty of this device, and on a GDPR standpoint, and I hate talking about GDPR, but the GDPR compliancy with access control is paramount at the moment. So having multi-factor authentication, so whether that be using a card and then a fingerprint, or a mobile credential and a fingerprint, it's all really, really important for these end users to understand that there are solutions out there that actually fit the bill what they're looking for. And just one final point on these devices. So all of the Suprema devices that I show you and talk to you about are intelligent. So what I mean by intelligent is that the door controller is built within the device. So you're not having to put a third-party access control reader controller somewhere. It's all built within this device. So on a cost-saving perspective, on a install cost perspective, you're able to install these devices a lot quicker with a lot more flexibility as well with these devices. And just one other thing, this is a PoE device as well. So again, you're not looking at 12 volt of power and a network point to it. You're looking at PoE. Don't get me wrong. If you want to run 12 volt and PoE to it, by all means, if you've got that capability. And then just on the final product that I'm going to talk to you guys about is the Bias Station 3, and it's what I like to call the Swiss Army knife of the Suprema portfolio. So as you can see, we've already got it implemented at multiple venues, multiple stadium areas. And the beauty here is they're not just one solution. There's time and attendance, there's visitor access, there's all manner of abilities here. So working with the likes of Netgenium, we've got the ability for, you know, the VoIP system or sorry, the SIP system, Steve, on the Bias Station 3. You can call up to 127 call points with the device. But the beauty of these devices here, you've got two versions of it. You've got a Bias Station 3 DB, which does dual card technology, but then obviously the APWB does all card, PoE, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. So it's giving you that full flexible range of the Suprema offering. And just because I'm talking facial authentication, please, this device does everything other than fingerprint. So it does QR code, it does RFID, it does mobile, it does PIN. Okay. And again, just looking at the, you know, the 9 venues that we have on there, they all use a different manner, a different approach at every one. So for example, Leicester City Football Club, they use it for TNA at the King Power Stadium. However, at Leicester City's training ground, they use it for player entry and staff entry, so protecting the valuable assets at those clubs. So and it sounds really bad, but again, working with the FSOA, the most valuable asset that club has is the football players. So they want to make sure that those players are safe. They aren't leaving lanyards, they aren't leaving cards around, and it just gives you the full flexibility of using the Suprema range. Next slide, Dave. And I know I've got 3 minutes left. 4, technically. So just a quick one on a case study that we've done with one of our partners, OLS, up in Doncaster. It seems like a small project to begin with. It is. So Doncaster Knights Rugby Club looked at changing and radicalising how they were doing fan entry, looking at how we can use QR codes, season tickets, whether they're RFID or anything else. So the reason that I have this slide up, there's 2 reasons: to talk about Doncaster Knights and using our solution on a future ticketing system and allowing concessions. But the other point it allows us to do is move into the access control world with Doncaster Knights. So the stadium safety itself. So, you know, using facial authentication for stewards at a later date is exactly what they're looking for. And they've got over 400 stewards that attend that site. So you can imagine how laborious and tedious writing all their names down on a piece of paper is. Let's just use a nice simple access control solution like the Bias Station 3 or the BioEntry W2 and allow it to be accurate and true identity getting in and out of that area. And next slide, please, Dave. So just on the case studies that we have, these are all available on our YouTube channel. They're also available via DVS as well. And these are all around access control, time and attendance, and all of which have some form of requirement for Martyn's Law, apart from Salisbury Poultry, the food production facility. So whether it be Leicester City, Wolverhampton Grammar School, Stonyhurst College, a project with DVS, Lifestyle Fitness, Dark and Taylor, and All Pay. So these are all available online. By all means, please feel free to reach out to me or your local DVS rep to get these, or if you want any help with any access control requirement, again, please feel free to reach out to anybody on this call. Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate it. So I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's taken their time to join this call. I know it's been a bit of a long call, but hopefully you found a lot of true value, you know, from what we've all said and contributed and given some clarity to the situation, because I know it's a difficult situation to navigate from the offset if you don't really have the intel to sort of speak with your end users and customers around Martyn's Law. Hopefully this has given you an insight. I want to say thank you to Steve, Laura and Sean for your contribution, and Jake, who's been my wingman for the rest of this call. So thanks, Jake. Jake will
Well done,
send
guys.
this slide deck out to everyone who has joined the call, so you will get the full slide deck, so please use it at your own will. And if you do need us to connect you with any of the presenters here, please do let us know and we'll happily do that. Other than that, have a great rest of the afternoon, and thank you for joining, and we hope you found some value in it. Thanks all.
Dave, just before we end it,
Yeah.
if anybody on this call requests, and probably Steve and Laura will say the same, if you need anybody to come and sit down with an end user and discuss Martyn's Law, I'm sure the three of us would be more than happy to do so.
I appreciate that, Sean. Thank you very much. Right. Enjoy the rest
Thanks,
of the day.
Dave.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.